So even though Gotham is on break, guys, we've still got quite a bit to talk about in today's video. For example, we've got a brand new promo for the final episode that you guys are just going to absolutely love. We've got the synopsis for episode 11, and I'm finally going to give my opinion on the leaked Batsuit, just like I did with the Joker leak. But do not watch that part of the video if you do not want to be spoiled about anything. But we'll touch on that in a little bit, but let's break all of this down. What is up, Gothamites? Welcome to a brand new Gotham video. I told you I'd get a video up this week, and I'll try and do one for each week. Gotham is not on, because as you all know, we're on break till April something. Can't remember off the top of my head. Text will be appearing on screen. This is typical Boba right now. Short-term memory loss and all that. But either way, this is an exciting video. Very pumped to talk about this stuff because, you know, as I just said in the intro, we've got a synopsis for the second to last, the last ever present day episode. And I had some comments in my last Gotham video saying, it's not present day. Well, you know what I mean, guys. Come on. Like, you know what I mean. It's the last present day episode, which Gotham is set in. We've also got a really badass promo photo that I want to go over featuring Batman, and we'll get onto that second of all. But also, a lot of you guys have been wanting me to talk about the leaked Batsuit. I will go over it and give my opinion on it like I did with the Joker one. Why haven't I gone over it straight away, or like a couple weeks ago whenever it leaked, or it might have been long ago before that, can't remember, short-term memory loss and all that. Just the same thing as what I said before about the Joker picture. I didn't want to bring loads of attention to it, but I'm going to save that for the very, very end of this video. I can also compare it to the promo photo, but as I said, please, I even recommend that you don't watch that part of the video, just because I don't want it to be spoiled for you, because yeah, I've got quite a few opinions, but we'll talk about that later. So I think we should start off with the synopsis first. I'm sorry to all of you who want me to cover the Batsuit photo first. Do not skip the video. I'm looking at you right there. But Gotham 5 times 11, that means episode 11 of season 5. Some people actually don't know that one. As Bane enacts his final plan for Gotham's destruction, Gordon rallies his former enemies to save the city. Meanwhile, Nissa Al Ghul kidnaps Barbara's newborn daughter with ambitions to raise her as her own. Then Bruce's decision to leave Gotham points him to his destiny while devastating Selina in the all-new Gotham. There's quite a few comments in my last trailer breakdown where you guys, I hearted a few of them. You're like, Gotham returns for his final episode in 10 years' time, because yeah, you guys get the joke. It's always on break at the minute. That's a really interesting synopsis. Obviously, in this last episode, we've got Bane, trying to enact Nissa Al Ghul's final plans to destroy Gotham. Obviously, Bane's could be defeated somehow or another. We know that the Gothamites, well, quite literally within the Gotham world, all the heroes and villains teaming up together, and the citizens left in Gotham seem to be kind of going up against Bane, but I have no idea how it's actually, like, how he's actually going to be apprehended. Actually, if I remember correctly, we do have Bruce versus Bane at one point, which is going to be very interesting to see. This last present day episode, guys, is going to be, it's kind of dawning upon me right now as I speak about it. After this, we've just got the time jump. That's it. But yeah, this will make sense anyway with Gordon rallies his former enemies to save the city. The next part with Nissa Al Ghul kidnapping Barbara's newborn daughter with ambitions to raise her as her own. That's a very interesting one. I saw actually quite a few theories from you guys saying that what if she actually does raise Barbara's baby, or Barbara, mini Batgirl Barbara. I don't think that's going to happen, just because I think it's kind of obvious, even though it's going to be a bit rushed, but we will understand because we've only got half a season. Nissa Al Ghul, yeah, she has been in for a while, but the reveal has only just arrived to our screens, and she's going to be defeated. That's why she's not going to get away with this. It's going to be interesting to see how Nissa gets defeated, though. A lot of you commented on my comments about the part where Jim Gordon in the trailer was against Nissa Al Ghul, because I really don't want him to beat her. It is kind of typical of Gotham to actually have, I will admit that, Jim Gordon beating her. Just personally, I'm not going to be a big fan of that. Some of you were like, but, he got juiced up with Bane stuff, didn't he? Or, was it adrenaline? I think it was adrenaline. I don't think it was Venom. I don't think Jim's going to be having residual effects of Venom still in this episode. If it was Venom, I honestly think it was just adrenaline. That's why he just pushed, Hugo out the way. It's not like he did anything superhuman. So I'm just putting it down to adrenaline for now. But either way, even if he had Venom, Nissa Al Ghul, the reason why I believe that he shouldn't be able to beat her is because she's a League of Shadows, and to the people correcting me about League of Assassins, in the Gotham universe's League of Shadows, he shouldn't be able to beat her. But whatever, I'll appreciate it for what it is in the episode if I can, if that actually happens. It's kind of a cool premise though, for like baby Batgirl to be you know, raised by a League of Shadows member, because as we all know, she's going to turn into Batgirl. Then for the rest of the synopsis, we've got Bruce's decision to leave Gotham points him to his destiny whilst devastating Selina. And in my trailer breakdown, I was saying like, oh, this is going to be interesting to see how Selina takes this. And we've been getting hints for a while that Bruce wants to leave Gotham. And if anyone's read the comics or knows anything about Batman, that was inevitable. It's always been a topic of conversation across the years on this channel. Well, I've only been covering Gotham since the beginning of season 3, but like, what are you going to do if it goes on long enough with Bruce's, you know, like leaving for like, you know, at least a decade or whatever? Going to be very cool scene to see, you know, Selina and how she takes that. You know, it's very, they've also showed very many points of how vulnerable she exposes herself to be when it comes to Bruce, which is always refreshing to see from Cameron Beacondova, just because you know, Selina isn't always like that. She's always put up a hard front, but I can't wait for those scenes this episode. But, you know, we all understand why Bruce is doing it. You know, after what happened to Alfred, that's going to be, I think, as I keep saying, the straw that breaks the camel's back for Bruce, on top of him feeling guilty that everything in this city, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but he feels like a lot of this stuff is happening because of Bruce Wayne. And then, of course, the other half of it is that he wants to become Gotham's protector. And when he comes back, he will be that watchful freaking knight, you know, whatever. You get it. He's gonna be Batman. Now, guys, let's go over that sweet ass Batman picture. Holy crap! I've got quite a few things to say about this, and then we'll go over to look at the Reddit leaked picture of the Batsuit. This is amazing, but I do want to say a few things. But first off, I'll start with the positive. So yeah, it looks great. It really does. I love this. I quite like how I feel. It's kind of hard because I want to compare it to the leaked Batsuit thing, and I will in the leaked Batsuit part. Now, what I love from what we can tell from behind here is that it seems like a very year one suit. I mean, what we do know about the 10-year time jump is when Bruce returns, he's only just becoming Batman, right? So I think his armor, and I don't want to give too much away about the leaked suit for all of you who do not want to obviously watch that part of the video, is that it is kind of newbie-esque, and I personally think that's absolutely acceptable in that regards, because if you read a load of Batman comics from when Bruce just starts, some of his armor is very newbie. Like, he carries freaking bow and arrows and literally grappling hooks that what we've seen in present day. So what I like about this is that the cowl isn't, you know, it literally is like one of those things where the Joker or Bane would like rip the cowl off him, and it's like a massive, you know, the cowl doesn't just stop here, it stops like all the way down here like it is in this photo. However, it is kind of different to the leaked picture in a way, and I'll get onto that in a second. But what I will say here is that it looks a lot better than what it does in the leaked picture, but that's fairly obvious. What I'm going to say about that is that obviously this has been touched up with a bit of Photoshop editing, a bit of brush, you know, a little bit of coolness added to it, and that's very obvious. But I expect one thing I want to like disclaim from the leaked picture, obviously it's going to look like at least 40% better with the sheen of the screen, the effects, the lighting, and all stuff like that. It's probably going to be very darkly lit as well. As I said, I'll get onto that in a second. But I can't really say too much more to this than that, apart from how epic this looks, and it should get you very hyped for the finale. Because it's Batman, man. We're finally getting the Batman, and I can't wait for that. It looks great, and I really like the choice of this cowl. But now I'm going to move on to the leaked picture, guys, and give my opinions on that. Do not watch this part of the video if you do not want to be spoiled. I'm doing this for the same reasons as what I did for the Joker one. So spoiler warning, do not watch this part of the video if you do not want to be spoiled. You have 5, 4, 3, and a 2, and a 5, and a 4, and a 3, 2, 2, 1, and... Okay, so as usual, this is on that Mega Leaks thread on Gotham. So you go to that, you click on freaking this, and at the top there, just like when I went over the freaking Joker picture, there is Batman on Imgur, whatever. And here it is. Here it freaking is. Now, what do I think of this? This is real, by the way. Just if you couldn't tell by the freaking property of Warner Bros. I have quite a few opinions about this. I like it, but I also have problems with it. But as I said, I do not want people to be like, baby, you're being too harsh and critical on it. There's a few reasons for this. There's a few reasons. One thing, I will start off with the positives. If you don't like the look of it, it's going to look way different in the sense of it's a green screen in the background. Obviously, Bruce, you know, he seems to be looking down on something, and the background of it is going to be filled with something, whether it's the sky or a building behind him. Who knows? It'd be epic if he's standing on a gargoyle or something like that. But obviously it looks pretty poor in terms of a green background, so don't take that to heart too much. I love the emblem. The emblem couldn't be more perfect. It's great. The cow, I really like that. I think that's just about where it ends. The bat logo on the belt is okay. I think that's pretty cool. The coloring I think's pretty cool. The pant bit, the pants, the kind of Superman pants, that like are going there. I don't know if I would have done that. Maybe I would have connected like the little material that we kind of get a little bit of a look for on his thighs to it, so it didn't look like briefs or whatever you want to call them. But one thing I do love as well is the cape. I love this version of the cape. It's very classical as well. And this does line up with that shot. But what I want to say here is, in terms of what they've done with the promo shot, is that has been manipulated for epicness, so to speak. Because on that cow, you can clearly see, right, this is one of the issues I have with it straight away, is that Batman, you could just stab him. Just stab him. First of all, in a neck, that is literally just clothy material. Shank. You can shank him right under. Like, what the heck is the deal with that massive gap between the breastplate and the abs plates? I don't understand that at all. Why didn't they? I mean, what my issue here with this is, for example, some of you may watch the CW show, so think about Black Lightning or like some of the other heroes where you can see the underlayer of their armor, but it's textured or something like that. Why did they just give him like, it's almost like a gimp suit, whatever you want to call it, underlayer with no texture on it? It just looks very boring. But what I'm trying to say is, I don't want to give my final judgments on this. That's what you guys should completely do as well, because it could look different upon editing, and a lot, as what I always like to say, is the sheen of the screen. But that is a massive mistake if they keep that and you can clearly see it. I don't get why they didn't add another ab plate leading up to the chest. That's so exposed for Bruce. But as I said, what I want to keep in mind with the optimistic approach is, this is Batman Year One. As I said, look at the 0 Year comics or Year One comics, that he looks much noobier than what they've given us here. Bruce by this time would have been a 10-year in the making badass. He's got more gadgets from Lucius. He's got this. He's a watchful protector of Gotham. I get it. But what I want to say in terms of going back to comparing it to, if I can find it, the promo picture, it is, in terms of what you see on the leaked picture of the cape, it's like that blanket bit. I like that, but it doesn't properly show that almost snood around his neck. It makes it seem like it's one complete, almost hard material like they use in the freaking big time production movies, and that's not the case. Now you could be like, Boba, what if they changed their mind since the leaks? I don't know if that's the case unless they did a reshoot. That I would find that hard to believe. I really would, based on maybe community feedback, since this leaked quite a while ago, I think. So I understand a lot of you are going to be like, but Boba, maybe that leak's fake because look how different the cowl maybe looks here. Trust me, the leak isn't fake. I'm very confident on that, just looking at the nature of this and then looking at the Joker leaks. So what I think they've done, simple explanation there, is with an official promo image, you do make things look a lot cooler. And that is why I want all of you to reserve your judgment for the sheen of the screen. But just looking at a very raw newbie photo, which, as I keep saying, you shouldn't give your final judgments on, it is very good for what it is. But the biggest things I'm not a fan of is the exposed areas. I can't get on board with that. It just looks to me that everywhere, we've got like cloth on his arms and stuff like that. He could get stabbed in his butt. Think how many times Bruce, even though he's an amazing martial artist and all kinds of things like that, he gets stabbed in his arm and it just, you see a little freaking spark or something. He will get stabbed everywhere. But at the same time, playing devil's advocate to myself here, this is 0 Years, so why wouldn't he wear rags after training, with several different people across the world? It makes sense, and only from here on out he's got to upgrade it. So that's what I choose to listen to here in my own mind. I really like the cowl. Apart from that, as I said, it does look like a helmety version here. I know I may be repeating myself from now, but a few of you might be like, but clearly that's a helmet, Boba. The other photo looks different. As I said, it's just been made to look different in the promo image. Maybe they can edit something in the final kind of look. What I love about this cape, as I said, is that it reminds me of the animated series where you can kind of cloak it over like that. And I kind of like how it covers the shoulders as well. That's what makes it look really cool. Don't forget that Bruce Wayne here is 28 years old, only just returned back to Gotham. And that's why I think it's okay. Biggest gripes, bottom line, the ad plates should have been kind of brought up to cover that blank spot in the middle. As I said, I don't know why they didn't do that unless they plan to do something in post-production, or if you can barely see it in the shot that he's going to be in, you know, edited in the background with the green screen here. Yeah, not a massive fan of the pants, but whatever. You probably won't even see that in the final shot with the lighting. I doubt this is going to be a very bright scene, for example. When do you ever see Batman very, very clearly and clear as day? That'd be weird. And yeah, the neck just looks like it's a crumpled snood, like you'd ride on a motorbike to keep yourself from being cold in the winter. But the cowl is awesome. I think that's awesome, and that'll look much better in, as I said, the final shot. But it does contradict the promo image, but as I said, and this last time I'm repeating myself, that is because it's a promotional image. And, you know, imagine if your boss gave you something to look cool and make it look better and capitalize on the final episode, you'd make it look goddamn mother effing badass. And it's not all too different from probably what this is going to look like finalized and digitized for that final episode. But, you know, let's just remind ourselves, Bruce will be present throughout the episode, but he will be blurry. Probably until this, you know, shot. This might be like the final shot we see. It'd be wicked if we saw him in focus beforehand, but from everything we know on Reddit and everything like that, he's blurry. He's blurry throughout. And I understand why. I expected this anyway. I've said all along it'll be Smallville-esque. Like, John Stevens has already come out and said it's nothing like Smallville, but that's because, yeah, in Smallville you saw him in the last shot running out like that. In this, we technically get Batman throughout, so I get that. So that's how it's different. But apart from that, in principle, it's the same. You'll see probably Bruce right at the end, right here probably. But yeah, other than that, it's okay. It's okay. It's good in some areas, but I expected better in other areas. But at the same time, I think if people were thinking impulsively, almost like I am there with, oh god, I think they should have done this, it does fit with Gotham's aesthetic and also with Batman Year One. But ultimately, for those of you who stuck around for this part of the video, let me know what you think of it. Do you agree with what I have to say? Maybe have I kind of changed your perception a little bit in terms of were you heavily critical on it, but now, you know, with the whole fitting Gotham's universe, Batman Year One vibes, you know, I feel like it is okay when you bear that in mind. But I would still love to read all your comments, guys. Let's start a conversation down in the comments below. We've still got a few weeks till Gotham comes back. Let me know what you guys thought of the synopsis as well, and what you think could go down in the next episode. How do you think Bane will exactly be defeated? Will it really be Bruce? And I think that's everything I have to say. So thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, links are in the description down below. Join my Discord server. Check out my merch store. It really does support the channel. We've got some awesome Boba hoodies in there. I should have probably worn it for this video. It's somewhere around here. And yeah, check out my Patreon. I really appreciate all of you Patreon supporters popping up on the screen right now. You guys are freaking awesome. It really does help fuel the content that I create. And just thank you so much. So I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day and your weekend. And I'll see you Gothamites in the next video. Goodbye.